Yo, what is going on, everyone? It is GentooMan here, also known as Rainy. Yes, my video schedule still sucks. I am so very sorry, but it is a very busy time of year for me and just busy life, you know? That being said, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to those of you who do not celebrate Christmas. I hope all of your holiday season is going well. Hope you're all snacking on your favorite holiday treats, sitting back, relaxing, watching your favorite holiday movies. Let me know in the comments if you care to what your favorite Christmas movie is. Me personally, if I had to pick one, I like the Grinch a lot, but not even the Jim Carrey Grinch, that one's okay. I like the original Grinch, the animated one. And I also really like the Polar Express. I watch it with my family every year. And, there's a couple other good ones that are, not traditionally Christmas movies, but, let's go traditional Christmas movie. What's your guys' favorite? But anyways, you guys, with the holidays around, I am finding a little bit more time to make videos, but not a ton. And I'm probably going to lock back in at the beginning of 2025. It's going to be my New Year's resolution. Keep this channel alive and kicking. But for now, I'm going to make videos when I can. So I got a pretty interesting story time for you guys today. I hope you enjoy it. I've been watching some videos on YouTube that reminded me of this one. So, I hope you guys enjoy. Now, some of you guys might remember towards the beginning of this year, I made a video, I believe it was titled 1999 Creepypasta Confirmed Real or something like that. But I talked about my friendship with this girl I knew in high school named, I think I called her Anna in that video. And I'm going to do that again. I'm going to call her Anna. This is another story about her and I's friendship and the things that we did when hanging out. So on this particular day, it was a Saturday morning. I had woken up. I had nothing to do. I woke up pretty early this day. I don't really know why. It was just kind of how my sleep schedule was. I'm sure you all know how that is. You wake up on a school day and it's a reasonable time, but you feel exhausted. You don't want to go anywhere. Then the weekend hits and you have no responsibilities and you can sleep in and you're up at the crack of dawn. So it was probably about 9 a.m. and I had been up for 2 hours at this point. So I send a text to Anna and I'm like, hey, you want to hang out today? And she responds probably within 20 minutes. She said yeah, sure. What do you want to do? And I'm like, I don't know, whatever you want to do. And she dead ass hit me with I'm craving Arby's. You want to get lunch? Which, who the fuck is craving Arby's, dude? But I was just kind of sure, let's do that. And so that was our plan. And we decided to meet up at around noon. So noon came around. I had my mom drop me off at this Arby's because at the time I could not drive myself. And we kind of just ate Arby's and talked for a while. And it was pretty chill, It was a pretty chill hangout. And then probably about 30, 40 minutes into us sitting in an Arby's, Anna gets a call, and it's a call from her friend, and we're going to call this friend Julia. And I knew Julia because she sat next to Anna in the class that I met Anna in, so I kind of knew her. I wasn't as close with her, but I did know her. So Anna's on the phone with Julia, and turns out Julia is asking her if she wants to hang out. So Anna kind of just tells her I'm hanging out with Rainy right now. And, excuse me, guys, I'm dying. Anyways, and then I hear Julia sort of say it oh, that's okay, cool, bring him with you, we can all hang out. So Anna, kind of lowers her phone and she asks me, she's Julia wants to hang out. She said, I can bring you, do you want to do that? And I was yeah, sure, let's do that. So we finalized the plan, and Julia didn't live too far from where this Arby's was, so we ended up just walking from the Arby's to Julia's house. And, once we get there, we kind of just, hang out, basically do what we were doing at the Arby's, but at a house. We kind of just hung out in Julia's basement, just sitting around, talking, just doing our thing. Eventually, I don't remember how, but we got into the subject of, the Chris Hansen, Hansen versus Predator videos and stuff, because I was big into those at the time. I was watching them all the time. There was the Jeff Sokol one, the pizza guy, and all those other ones. I was watching a ton of these at the time. I don't know why. They were just kind of my shit. And they're also kind of the reason I remembered this video, because there's been a lot of new ones going up. I know Chris Hansen has a streaming service or something now called True Blue. There's a lot more episodes. Some of them are on YouTube. I've been fucking that shit up, man. I've been watching a ton of them. But anyways, long story short, we got into the subject of those videos because I had been watching them, and it turns out Julia had also been watching them. But Anna hadn't seen them, so we booted up the TV, the smart TV in Julia's basement, pulled up YouTube, and pulled up the Jeff Sokol episode, the one with the guy whose pizza looks so goddamn good. But he's a terrible guy, so, there's that. We kind of just sit there and we watch this whole episode, just kind of in silence. We're all, invested in it. We watch it from beginning to end. And as it ends, you know, me and Julia had made like our inside jokes about like the pizza and about the guy, like, you know, the memes that exist. And we kind of just look at Anna for her, you know, for like her reaction, like what she thought of it. And she kind of looks at us and she's like, I have an idea. And so we asked her, we're like, what do you mean? And she's like, well, like, what if we did that? Like, what if we caught people like that? Like, what if we did it? Because, you know, there's a lot of YouTubers who just kind of do it. Like, the best one, in my opinion, is Anxiety War. That dude is fucking sick. I like him. Now, I'm just going to throw in a disclaimer right here, right now. Do not try this at home. This is not a good idea, especially when we did it. It was not a good idea. It never is. Do leave this one to the professionals. You don't know who you're going to come in contact with. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if they have a weapon. You don't know if you're going to get hurt. So do not try this at home. Please, I am begging you. With that said, let's continue the story. So with our teenager brains, we're like, yeah, that's a good idea. We could do this. We totally could. We could do this. We could catch bad people. This will be great. So naturally, we hop on Omegle, the cesspool of the internet. And, you know, we do everything we can, like add filters, add interest, whatever we could to try and narrow it down to, like, people who would be near us, like, near where we live. And, you know, it takes us, like, probably about an hour of, like, going through Omegle. And, like, you know how Omegle is. Like, we were only on the text chat. We weren't on the video chat. But even with the text chat, you know how people are. You know how it is. And it was a lot. But eventually, we did come in contact with this dude who lived in the same town as us. Now, I'm not going to get into too many specifics here because, as some of you may know, there is certain tactics that you use for chats like this in situations like this. And I don't know what details I should or should not say, so I'm not going to say basically any of them. All I will say is that eventually this chat did move from Omegle to a more personalized chat on Kick, which is kind of an app you should stay off of, in my opinion. And the bottom line is this dude showed some pretty bad intentions and was aware that the person he was talking to was underage. So that's not good. Now, I am once again going to stress how dumb the next thing we did was, because I am telling you right now, this is a horrible idea, and we were very lucky that nothing happened to us. Well, nothing really happened to us. Don't do this. Please, do not. But basically what we did is we had kind of agreed with this guy for him to meet with this person that he like thought he was talking to. And I guess it wasn't entirely the same as like one of those Chris Hansen things, because in this scenario, I guess he was actually talking to an underage girl. So that does make it even that little bit worse. She didn't use her real name or anything like that, didn't give him any addresses, but he did have pictures of her, like not like bad pictures of her, but like pictures of her, you know? So yeah, this is really dumb. This is going to be the last time I'm going to stress it, but please don't do this, you guys. Like, for your own safety. I don't want anyone getting hurt or anything, so just don't do this. Anyway, that's rainy PSA over. Enjoy the rest of the story. So anyways, we had agreed to meet with this guy at a mall in our city, and we you know, we started like strategizing. We started strategizing, like, where are we going to meet this guy? And we basically had her, it was Julia who was like talking to this guy. I don't know if I mentioned that. We had Julia tell him, like, okay, just like tell me when you're there and we'll make a plan of like where to meet. So we get Julia's mom to drive us to the mall, and we arrive at the mall, and at this point we start coming up with the plan. Now, despite the fact that this was already stupid, we weren't going to be even more stupid, and we didn't want to leave Julia like alone with whoever this guy was going to be. So we came up with a pretty decent plan, I guess. What we had come up with is we told Julia that when she got a text from the guy to tell him to meet her in the food court, and we were going to have them sit at a table in the food court while Anna and I sat at a different table and kept a very close eye on them to make sure nothing happened. And that is exactly what we did. After not too long, the guy told Julia that he was there. And I know I keep saying the guy, I just genuinely don't remember what his name was. And he eventually ended up coming and meeting Julia in the food court. And now, I'm not usually one to judge appearances. I try not to. But this guy looked really greasy and really sketchy. So we were like sketched out from the beginning. And like, I kind of looked at Anna, I'm like, maybe this isn't the best idea. At this point, we were kind of in too deep. Like, there's not a lot we could have done. So we were kind of just watching. Now, the other part of the plan was, after this whole initial meeting, we were going to try and get the guy somewhere where I could like I guess, interview him. Like I was going to be the Chris Hansen type guy in this operation. So after probably about like 5-10 minutes of talking in the food court, they get up and they start walking somewhere. Now, obviously, we're not just going to let her walk somewhere without us going with her. So we try and blend into the crowds and walk with them, which luckily we did pretty easily because it was a Saturday. The mall was very busy, and we were able to follow them out until like the parking lot, which was like right under the food court. And I overheard the guy asking Julia if she wanted to see his car, which big red flag here. So me and Anna kind of kicked it into overdrive and started like almost like running towards them. And I kid you not, this guy's car was literally like a white van. Like it was the white van, like the fucking white van. So at this point, I tagged in. I ran in front of Julia, and I started trying to grill this guy. Like, I was asking him, like, what are you doing here? Like, do you know how old she is? Like, I know what you said in the chats, you know? Like, I was doing the whole Chris Hansen speech, but, like, just not well. The dude was kind of saying, like, who the fuck are you? Like, who are you? What the fuck are you doing here? And I was kind of being, I wouldn't answer him. I just kept going off. Like, what are you doing? Like, do you know how old this girl is? And stuff like that. And, like, Julia kind of, like, stood back a little bit with Anna while I was doing this. And at this point, like, it was getting to be, like, a loud sort of, like, thing, right? Like, I was kind of yelling at the guy. He was yelling back at me. So people were starting to notice. And, like, the guy had his phone out. And I don't know, I guess he was, like, texting someone or doing something. He had his phone out right before I started yelling at him. And it was, like, becoming a thing at this point. Like, people were noticing. People were, like, looking over, like, looking weirdly at us. So I guess the guy, like, looked around and got sketched out. So he pushed me, like, with all his might. And I, like, fell onto the concrete of the parking lot. And the dude, like, hopped in his car, turned it on, and reversed, like, super fast. And he almost hit me with his fucking car, dude. And he, like, zoomed off. Like, he was gone really, really fast. One funny thing, though, is that when he pushed me, I guess he dropped his phone because he ran it over when he was reversing. It was, like, it was really fucked up, too, because he had, like, a phone that was, like, it was a smaller phone. I think it was, like, a Samsung phone, but it had, like, no case or anything. So it got just absolutely, like, eviscerated after he ran it over. And, I mean, like, unfortunately, at that point, that was kind of that. Like, that's the thing about, like, us just, like, doing, like, our own sting operations. Like, what are we gonna do? Like, we're not the police. We weren't videoing or anything. We were just, like, doing it. So I don't really know what our goal was, but, you know. So we kind of just spent some time at the mall, looked in stores, got some food, you know, just did our thing. I think we ended up, like, going to a movie later that day because there's a movie theater in the mall. And then I just think my mom just picked me up from there and I said bye to my friends for the day. But yeah, that was an experience. And I will not lie, I did end up encountering this guy again, like, in the wild. But that's a story for another day. But pretty much the moral of the story today, guys, is don't do what we did. Like, I know I said it multiple times, and I said I was going to stop saying it. But seriously, it's very unsafe. It's really not a good idea. And overall, just, like, be safe on the internet, especially if you are younger, because there's a lot of people out there. And you're going to meet some really cool people on the internet. Like, I've met some people that I don't even know in real life that are, like, gaming buddies and stuff, and they're awesome. But at the same time, there's a lot of people on the internet that you maybe don't want to meet that are maybe not the best people. So with that said, you guys, stay safe over the internet. And this would be a really good time to insert, like, a VPN sponsorship, but I don't have one. So just stay safe over the internet and don't do what we did. And with that is going to do it for this story time. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for sticking with the channel. And to all of you newcomers, thanks for being here. Look forward to seeing you again. And happy holidays, everybody. I hope you enjoy your time with your family, with your friends, with whoever you're going to spend it with. Have a great time, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Later.